Hello everyone, and welcome to this session doing tactics in the King's Indian for Black. What we're doing here is a series called Tactics After the Tactics. So for example, after what I believe is bishop takes, queen takes, rook f4, queen back to c2, c1 is also reasonable, e4, knight anywhere, and then we're getting at the f2 pawn, so knight takes, and now let's assume that knight went to d2. The rook doesn't actually have a good square to go to. It has nowhere along the h-file, and if he goes anywhere along the back rank, we're going to have queen h4 with ideas of revealed checks against the knight. And because the knight's here on f2, the white pieces don't have the resource of long castles. In that position, I'm looking at something like knight d3 castles, knight d3 check, and we've got plenty going for us as black. We're not too worried. I could probably pick up the h-pawn, but I think it's much more persuasive to simply pursue the attack, because that's why we play the King's Indian. It does feel a little bit weird to take here, so I was looking for other moves, but I didn't find anything, so this is just what my intuition is telling me should be played. So yeah, queen c2, top engine move here. That's an interesting counter, probably a defense that I should have seen, but okay, bishop, pawn, that just opens the king, so we're definitely not going to do that. Queen here, and I'm just pinning. Yeah, top engine move. This doesn't really do anything. As a matter of fact, it's just giving up that pawn. Bishop takes here is a great move. I really appreciate that. And here I'm plugging the hole. I'm 100% plugging the hole. Don't give a fuck what you say. Pawn, pawn, knight. That's cute. Here takes, and I think king here should be good enough. Rook here, rather. This is how I probably would have continued in the game. It's not altogether comfortable for black to play. Some attention is still required, but definitely something that I could win. All right, let's go for the next one. So I'm looking at moves like this. I want that knight. This bishop over here is also just full on hanging. Let's see if he can trap my, if he can distract my queen. Here, 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 here. Worst case scenario, I could just take that. So here, I don't have this square. I think I am forced to go here. E4 seems like the best try. E4, queen here, 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 here. I think I'm getting away. So let's just imagine here, b4, here, e4, here. And I think at that point, white sort of realizes that they're going to run out of moves and decides to go for something else. Rook takes b4, queen here, e4, queen here. What's white going to go for instead? I don't see any good... I'm not saying I don't see any good moves, but I don't see many good moves. Maybe knight here is worth some consideration. But in that case, maybe I just take... so I see lots of active moves for black in that position, even though the queen's a little bit awkwardly placed. So I'm going to go for it. Here, here, here. Yes, and then e4 is the top move. Queen g4 is again the top move. Yeah, I was proposing h3, f3 is also similar. Queen comes here, and then as I said, at some point, yeah, knight d5 was something that I considered, but I just figured that I was going to simplify and be fine. But I did mention, I think, that the queen just wants to sort of be somewhere else. I'm kind of surprised I'm not taking that, because they are on e7. So that's simply not as winning. Here, it's more winning to allow them the pawn. Interesting. This is a little bit too clever, right? You know, it's like, aren't you special? Yeah, you're definitely, so yeah, I think I might have mentioned this. You're definitely not completely out of the woods. But you're certainly, you know, a piece up. Bishop here takes knight check. King here. Knight check. King back. Knight double check rather. Knight check, king here, and then I recuperate the piece. And in that final position, knight, bishop, knight, bishop, knight, king, knight, king, knight, king, bishop, let's say rook here. I think I'm going to play check, king, takes, maybe that's not so great. Maybe bishop takes. Pawn takes, and then my knight goes back to f6. Seems reasonable. I also play rook here. That's an interesting move. Knight check. Knight check. Yeah, there's a line. I'm trying to get the smothered mate to work, right? Yep. That's exactly it. I was going to do this first, and then rook here. But yeah, so here it is. Here's the smothered mate. No, not quite. Not quite. But you know, what do you want? It's super winning. Like, we're just gonna win the house. so I would give everything to get rid of that bishop. But knight takes, rook takes. Man, I don't see a way to make it work, unfortunately. Unfortunately, if rook takes, no, if rook takes in here, then I do have this. So rook takes, knight takes, queen moves away, takes here. And now if you take here, I have check and check to win the queen. I love how there's just like a little hole in my screen where the cup is. That's actually what I calculated, wasn't it? So dumb. It's 3 minors versus 3 minors at the end. I don't know if that's really ideal. Right? Oh yeah. This is very similar to something that I messed up earlier. Yeah. All right, we will pause that there. That was, I believe, the third of our King's Indian sessions. They really should have made you finish out that tactic, I think. But I'm clearly getting a little bit lazy. I wasn't doing a lot of consideration of the tactic after the tactic there. So we will take a nice, gentle pause in the programming for this afternoon. Thanks so much for being here with me today. And until the next time, good luck with your chess journey. Bye for now.